So this is what I'm using today. I am going to be using some white cardstock. Okay, just white cardstock. And we'll talk about the measurements here in a minute. So white cardstock. And then I went through my scraps, you guys. This project is going to be great for scraps, and cut myself a few pieces. So I want you to look for all of your kind of red, white, and blue, right? Kind of those red, white, and blue type papers. And yes, they can be scraps. Okay, so I just kind of went through and found some things that I thought I liked the patterns, I liked the colors, and they were leftovers. So this is a great kind of a scrap stasher type project. The other thing I might be using today is going to be a little bit of crocheted lace, really cute for texture, maybe a little ribbon, we'll see, or twine, I don't know. It's live crafting. We'll see how this comes out. As far as tools go, I am going to use my heart punch. This particular heart punch is from Fiskars, and it's scalloped, but yours doesn't have to be. It could just be a regular heart. You could just hand cut it, trace it out and cut it. Or if you have a punch or a die, that would work great too. I'm going to be using my Scotch Fast Grab tacky glue, which I absolutely love for paper crafting. And then if you have a pen handy, I'm going to use my friction pen, but honestly, this could probably be any pen because we're never really going to see where we're going to use this. And then if I do decide to do any kind of pen work or doodling, I like to use my Pitt pens for that. Okay. Sparkle. Yes, if you want to add a little sparkle to this project, since it is going to be a red, white, and blue project, we can always add some sparkle. And I'm going to be using diamond stickles today, and any of the stickles that we carry would work. Okay, so we're going to jump right in here. Susan Lyles she is the best. Yes, we're thankful to have her. Lynn says she's working on her patriotic butterflies while watching. That's awesome, Lynn. I'm so glad. And then buttons. I think I forgot to mention buttons. I pulled out a few just little white buttons that I think may be cute to use on this project. The other thing that I was going to tell you is if you don't have a heart punch, I think a star would be cute too. Okay. I think a star would be adorable as well. All right. So I'm just going to kind of get all my little, my what do we want to say? My ducks in a row here. Get all my ducks in a row here. I do have a slightly different view for you today. My overhead camera thingy, whatever you want to call it, is at my house, and the one I have here is not, it's just not working very well. So I think I'm going to have to order a new one. So anyway, we're going to be looking at each other just like this. I'll be holding things up so that you can see them really well. And we're going to jump into this. What we're going to be making today is going to be a really cute and fun, functional, right? Functional paper craft. We're going to make a flag pocket. We're going to make a flag pocket, and then we're going to talk about how we could use this flag pocket in multiple ways. Okay. Hey, Leanne. Leanne's out there too. That's awesome. Glad that you're here watching. So happy Friday to everyone, and let's make a flag pocket from our scraps. Okay. Yeah, let's do it. All right. So the first thing you're going to need for this flag pocket is I'm just using regular white cardstock. Okay, just plain white cardstock. You're going to need two sizes. You're going to need a 4x6 and a 4.5 by 6.5. Okay, really easy measurements. So Susan, if you'll pop these into the comments, 4x6 and 4.5 by 6.5. Okay, 4x6. 4.5 by 6.5. Okay, super, super easy. I'm going to make 3 of these pockets today because I just want you to see how cute they are when I mix up the papers, when I kind of mix and match the papers. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to lay the 4x6 on top of the 4.5 by 6.5, and I'm going to line up the top edge. Okay, I'm lining up the top edge. I'm going to show this to you up close here in just a second. I'm going to use my friction pen for this. Really, honestly, this could be any kind of a pen because it's not going to show. And I'm really kind of pushing down as I'm tracing on this because That's also going to help to score my paper. All right, so here we go. So it's going to wind up looking like this. Do you see that? So the 4x6 was lined up to this edge right here, and then I just traced around the other edges. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to notch out the corners. Super easy. Okay, just notched out those corners at the bottom. Thank you for sprinkling, Heather. I always forget to tell people to sprinkle this out on Facebook. Yes, thank you. Yep, and I don't know if there's a way you can sprinkle on YouTube. We'll have to look into that. But there you go. All right. So now then, because I used my pen and I kind of pressed down, you're going to see that it's going to be really easy. It's already kind of pre-scored. So I'm just going to fold these upward. If your cardstock is textured, I don't care which side you use. It doesn't matter to me. So I'm going to fold these up, and this is why I was saying it really doesn't matter if it's a friction pen or not. If you don't want the lines to show, they're going to be on the inside of the pocket anyway. But if you don't want the lines to show, if you're using a friction pen, you can pop it with your heat tool, and then it's going to just disappear. But it's going to be on the inside of the pocket, so it's going to be fine. Okay, it's going to be fine. So I'm just going to fold these in nicely, just so they know that they want to fold. We're just kind of conditioning the paper to want to fold. And now then, there's a couple different ways we could do this. I'm going to show you, because we're going to be doing something on top of this. I'm going to tell you to do it in this way. I'm going to just lay my white cardstock right, I'm going to slide it in, basically. Just going to slide it into this pocket. Okay, I'm just sliding it in. All right. So I just want you to see, there it is. I'm just sliding it in there. And then I'm going to glue these flaps down to it. So you could use your hot glue gun for this if you want to. I'm going to use my Scotch Fast Grab Tacky Glue. It's my favorite for paper crafting. And you don't need a lot. A little goes a long way. And it's going to hold this down nicely. So I'm going to start with the small sides. Yeah, I'm just going to hold it down until it catches. Okay, I'm just kind of pressing it down here. And then I'm going to do the other side. This is one way to do it. And again, it's never going to show. So I don't want you to worry about that. And then this one's going to go down. Now this one, we're probably going to need to put a little bit of glue under the corners, under each of the corners. So you could glue it down like this. And then this is kind of what gives us this pocket. All right, so I'm going to kind of hold it up like this so you can see how it just gives us this kind of pocket. If that's tricky for you, you can always glue it on the top of the folds. It really doesn't matter because it's not going to show. Okay, so let's do one with it on the top of the folds and see if that is any easier for you. Just like lots of things, you know, with paper crafting, there's more than one way to do things. So we're going to do both just so I can show you that either way you go is going to be fine. So I'm tracing my 4x6. I have it lined up with one edge and then centered. Okay, just to repeat that process for you, I'm going to notch out the corners. These are going to be so cute. Okay. Corners are notched out. And now I'm going to just fold these upward. And I think it's going to be easier to do this one with hot glue. So I'll just show you what it looks like with hot glue. I'm going to fold the sides and then this one on top. So the first thing I'm going to do, first thing I need to do is actually turn on my glue gun. Ay. Okay, well, let's look at this. See how it's just kind of folded up? See that there? So again, your measurements are 1 4x6 and 1 4.5 by 6.5. Okay. I'll go ahead while my glue gun's heating up, and I'm going to do this one too. I cut enough stuff here to make 3 flag pockets. And as I mentioned, we're going to talk about different things we could do with these. So the finished size of your pocket will wind up being 4x6. Okay. We'll notch out our corners. And then I'm going to fold. Thank you. Susan just posted the measurements. Oops. How is everybody this morning? Good morning, Pat. Good morning, Kathy. Good morning, Mona. Glad you guys are watching. All right, so now I have kind of gone in and done my folds. Such an easy way. You don't have to have a scoring tool. You don't have to have all of that. Just as long as you're pressing down hard, it leaves just enough of a crease there to make it really easy to fold. Okay, so I bet my glue gun's probably hot by now. Let's see. So if I'm going to put this one on the top, I want to put the hot glue first in these corners. I want this is the bottom part, which is a little bit wider or thicker. So I'm going to put a little bit of hot glue. Come on, hot glue. All right, it's definitely getting hot. I'll just use my tacky glue on this one. So I'm going to put some here on the corners and just hold those in place for a second. My glue gun's not quite hot enough yet. So where my fingers are, that's where I've got the glue. So I'm just kind of, and I'm only got the glue on top of the folded piece. All right. Congratulations on your move, Belinda. That's awesome. Okay. Let's see if it's going now. Oh, it's starting. Okay, good. So once you have that piece down, right, then if you prefer and you want to put this on top, then that's exactly what we're going to do. And then you don't see any of the folds, which is like, as I mentioned earlier, it's all going to get covered up anyway. But we'll just be gluing this right on top. Okay, we'll just be gluing this right on top. On top, I think is much easier to do with a glue gun because the glue grabs it instantly. I'm going to put a little on these corners now that this is working properly. Come on, little glue gun. I hope I didn't mess this up. I kind of pushed the stick in there a little bit. All right, let's go ahead and do this one too. I'm real good at forgetting to turn my glue gun on, but I'm not very good at remembering to turn my glue gun off. Have you guys done that? Oh my gosh, last week, it was last Monday, I came in and you guys, I had left my glue gun on and it had been on all weekend up here. I mean, that is not safe by any means. So don't be like me. Always double check to make sure when you are leaving your craft room space that you've actually turned off your glue gun. Okay, so let me show you this. So my corners are glued down really easy with the glue gun. Can you believe I did that? I still can't believe I did that. I walked into my studio and I could immediately smell something that smelled like burning smell. And sure enough, that's exactly what I had done. All right, so now I'm going to put a little bit of hot glue down here. Let's try to do this fairly quickly. And then our 4x6 piece is just going to go right down on top of it. I may have to re-glue a couple spots. That's the hard thing about hot glue, is it dries so fast. I'm going to have to redo these spots right here. Okay, so now we have it on top. You can kind of see our little envelope there. Oop, I need to put some on the bottom. Put a little more on the bottom. I'm going to use some of my fast grab glue because my glue gun is not feeding through correctly for some reason. I've had that glue gun for about 3 or 4 years. I hope it's not dying. Maybe time to get a new one. Okay, so now let's look at it. Now you can kind of see there is our pocket, right? Really not hard to make these pockets. And especially if your glue gun is working correctly. But again, if you're using the fast grab tacky glue, that works also. You just have to hold it for a second. And I kind of like to rub my finger over it. The friction, kind of the heat from the friction of your finger going over it will help it catch as well. All right, let's go ahead and do this one. And this one I'll just use my good old Scotch tacky glue. So same thing, I'm just going to kind of line it up with the bottom corners and then just lay it down on top. And just kind of press down and rub. That friction kind of helps the heat, kind of helps it to grab. Okay, so now we have 3 pockets. So the only difference is you just don't see this part, right? This is the one that I glued on the top. Again, it's really not going to matter because we're going to cover that up. So whichever way you decide you want to do it, whether the folds are on the inside or the outside, it's really not going to matter. Yeah, I might have burned it out over the weekend. You're exactly right. I probably did. Oh, bye-bye, bye-bye glue gun. Okay, so let's move on to our next step. Let's make a flag on this pocket. All right, let's make a flag. So I chose 3 different patterns of red. Okay, so let me show these to you. These are the patterns I chose. So this is going to be a 4x6 also. Okay, so this is going to be the biggest, kind of the body part of my flag here. I think any kind of red would do. Any kind of red print or pattern would do. I think the patterns look cuter than just doing like a red cardstock. But if all you have is red cardstock, you can use that too. But I really love working with patterns, so designer pattern papers. So now I'm going to take this and I'm going to glue this right on the top of my pocket. Right on the top of the pocket. Just using my Scotch glue for this. And again, just smooth it all down. So now this pocket has this front. I'm going to make them all look a little different. So I don't put it, I used to put a little applicator tip on my Scotch glue, but I don't do that anymore. I think I've just kind of figured out about what pressure I need. If you're using Scotch tacky glue on paper and it starts to bubble or warp, then you're using too much, okay? So you really don't need to use that much. A little goes a long way. So it's just learning the pressure in your hand not to squeeze out too much. And also I kind of drag the tip through it, okay? And that helps to kind of thin it a little bit as well. There's that pocket. And now let's do this big polka dot. So again, I just kind of went into my stash of red, white, and blue papers and just picked some. I'm using scraps left over from making layouts. Any scrapbookers watching today? Yeah, if you're a scrapbooker, let me know. Or if you're a wannabe scrapbooker, let me know that in the comments. And there is my pocket for that one. Okay, so now I have all my little pockets here. I have my pockets covered. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to put on this part of our flag. Okay, so our flag is going to have a blue square, and I want to show you I chose different patterns, right? One of them has stars. This one has kind of like fireworks looking things, and this one is just kind of a cute red, white, and blue floral. All right, this measurement is 2.5 by 2.5. Okay. 2.5 by 2.5. Really simple measurements for you today. And now I'm going to just kind of pick and choose which flag is going to get which one. So I might use that one, and that one. That all looks really cute to me. I don't think it really matters. Let's make sure my stars are going the right way. So before I glue this on, I'm going to use a chalk ink. I really love using chalk inks on paper. It's just a nice way to kind of ink up the edge, create some dimension. This particular color is called Deep Sea. Let me make sure I'm saying that. Yes, Deep Sea. So it's a beautiful navy. And this is what it looks like when you ink the edge. I love that look, inking the edge. And then I'm going to glue this square down in the top left corner. Top left corner. It's going to start looking like a flag. Isn't that cute? Okay, I'm going to keep going on all of my pockets here. I see, let's see, there's a few scrapbookers out there. We are about to embark on something. I'll go ahead and chat with you about this while I put these on. We're about to do something brand new in my Page Builders Clubhouse. I have a online scrapbooking community called the Page Builders Clubhouse. And this summer, in fact, starting Monday, we're going to start our very first summer scrap camp. It's virtual. And we're going to be teaching you some fun techniques. You're going to learn some layouts. We have special page builder guides for you, templates, printables, all kinds of fun things. Isn't that cute? That one has the stars. And I would love for you to come and join us. Maybe you used to scrapbook and you don't anymore. Or maybe you kind of gotten into a rut. You feel like you're kind of doing everything the same way. Come join us in the Page Builders Clubhouse, and that way you can be a part of our virtual summer scrap camp. We're going to be doing some really fun things in there. Susan's got a link that she can give you, so you can click on that and it'll take you to all the information. I've been scrapbooking for so long, and I really, really love it. I love preserving my photos and my memories. And I would love to encourage y'all to come and join us. It'd be really fun. And yeah, we can use these flag pockets even. Cute, right? They're just so, so cute. Okay, so now I have that part on, right? So the next thing that I was going to put on that involves paper, okay, is those same pieces that I used for my, for kind of the body of the flag pocket. I have, again, some additional scraps. So this is where I'm going to take my heart punch, and I'm going to punch a heart out of each one of these, and I'm going to see how this heart looks. I'm hoping it'll be big enough. I want to see how this heart looks if it's on the blue square. And I thought I would have a little fun and kind of mix them up. Whoops, this one has to go here. I want to mix them all up. It's pretty cute. Okay, let me see what you think. Do you think the heart is too small? I'm going to kind of hold it up. It's a little small. Let me see if I have a bigger heart punch. Let's see. Actually, I do. So let's punch a slightly larger heart and see if this looks better. Oh, I think I like the larger heart. Yeah, I think I like the larger heart better. So let's see, do I have enough paper? I think I have enough scrap paper here. I have a few heart punches. I don't have a lot of punches anymore, but I did keep my shapes, the majority of like my shaped punches, because I find that I use those more than anything. Perfect. Yeah, this is going to be good. And somebody's probably going to ask me the size of this. So let me see here. I'm going to say 1.5 inches. Okay, I'm going to say it's about 2 inches in width and about 1.5 inches by height. So 2 by 1.5 for the heart. And then it's up to you. If you wanted to pop the heart up, you could. I'm going to use a color called Coal Miner on my hearts. This is just kind of a, think of it like as it's kind of a soft gray or even a soft black, but I think it looks really pretty against the red. Isn't that cute? So I'm going to use this color around my hearts. Coal Miner. I like to use Coal Miner a lot. It's nice instead of using like a black. Black can be kind of intense. So when you want something that's a little softer look than a black, I always go for Coal Miner. Okay. So now then, do I want to pop these up? Now I got to remember which one I had which one on. Okay, I think I had it like this. Do I want to pop these up or leave them flat? Okay, that's my next decision. As a paper crafter, it's fun because I love to pop things up. I'm going to tell you this. Make your decision based on how you're going to use your pocket. So if I'm going to use this flag pocket on a layout, I'm going to pop it up. I think popping it up would be really cute. If I'm going to use this flag pocket as maybe a gift card holder, put a little treat in there, right? I could put a cookie, I could put some chocolate, I could put something in there to slide in and out. I could pop that up too. If I'm a journaler, okay, like I am a Bible journaler. I love to Bible journal. I tend to not use pop dots in my journaling Bible because my Bible is already getting so thick, right? So the more that I pop things up, the more thickness it's adding. So I think I'm going to go for, because I'm going to do one of these on a layout. because it'll be so cute to tuck in journaling or pictures or mementos into this pocket. I think we all take pictures usually around the 4th of July or summer barbecues or, you know, things like that. It would be really cute. As a treat pocket, I definitely want to pop it up just because it's just fun, right? It's fun to pop something up. And then for my one, I'm going to put in my Bibling, in my Bible, I'm sorry, in my journaling Bible, my Bibling journal. Yeah, my journaling Bible, I'm going to leave it flat. And what could I use that pocket for in my journaling Bible? Yeah, I could put a prayer in there. I could put a picture in there. Maybe there's somebody in your family that's in the service and you want to dedicate a prayer or something to them or a verse to them, right? You could totally do that. Writing, you know, we all need a reminder to pray for our country, for our servicemen and women, you know, things like that. So having a little pocket like that in your journaling Bible would be great too. Okay. Yes. So let's go ahead and pop some of these up, and I'm going to see if I put out my pop dots over here. I don't think I did. Let me grab some. I actually like to use, it's a double-sided foam tape, and I love using this because then I can cut it to whatever size that I need. So I think I'll put the polka. I'm trying to think which one's going to go in my journaling Bible. All right, I'm going to go ahead and put I'll pop these two up. So I'm just cutting little pieces of this double-sided foam tape. Love popping things up. Just adds a little dimension, you know, little fun dimension. All right, so I'm going to pop this one on just right in the center. Look how cute that is. It's hard to see dimension on camera, but hopefully you can see it there. And let's put dimension on this one. Isn't it going to be cute? So what do you think my ribbon, my crocheted lace, and some of my ribbon is going to be for? Yeah, what do you think I'm going to use that for? Pop this one on. Oh my gosh, so cute. Aren't those cute? Now this is where I said if you didn't have a heart punch, you could use a star, right? A star would be so cute. So this one's going to go in my journaling Bible. So I'm going to make this one flat. So I'm just going to use my scotch glue. And do you see how I mixed up all the patterns? So every pattern is different. Yeah, there's the little pocket. Just so cute. I use foam tape all the time. Yeah, you may have pop dots. Some of you that are paper crafters that are like the little squares or the little circles. And I like those too, but I really like being able to cut the tape to whatever size I need it to be. I feel like I use it better. I know when I use the other packages of dots, like the little tiny dots, I rarely use those. I like the bigger pieces. So, yeah. Okay, so what are we going to do next? Yes, what are we going to do next? Well, next I'm going to put some stripes on my flag. I'm going to do this with my pretty crocheted lace. Now, I think these flags are already cute. So if you wanted to skip this step, you could. Or if you wanted to do this step with just strips of white paper, you could do that too. Maybe even like a washi tape. If you had a cute washi tape, you could use that as well. So I'm just going to get myself a nice cut here. Let's see if the glue gun is working. Man, it's still not pushing through. I think my glue gun has officially died, you guys. But that's okay. I'll use my Scotch glue for this. So I'm going to cut, let's see, I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to do 4 strips. All right, I'm going to do 4 strips across. So I'm going to do 2 that are long and 2 that are short. So this is, you know, obviously this is an extra step. It's definitely going to add some cuteness. It's not a have to, right? It's not a have to have or have to, but it sure is going to be cute. So 4. I'm going to do 2 and 2. And I'm going to start with the one of the long ones here. So I'm going to use, again, my Scotch tacky glue is great for this. It's going to be fine because it dries completely clear. So I just kind of put a squiggle out. I run my tip through it. And then I'm just going to give it a press down. I'll trim up the edges at the end, but the very first piece I'm going to put on my pocket is going to be right underneath the square. Okay, the square here, it's going to be right lined up right underneath it because that gives me something to align with, right? So that's where my first piece is going to go. Isn't it going to be cute? And then my second piece is going to go right down here. And, you know, I would give you measurements, but it's going to be different depending on what ribbon you use. You could use just ribbon. I'm using this crocheted lace. So just depending on how wide your ribbon is. And then let's see, I think I'll go like right here and right here. Okay, that looks pretty good. I don't think these things have to be exact. Whoop. I got glue on my finger and that just pulled that end right up. Okay, and one more. And again, I kind of squeeze some out and then I go back and I just kind of drag my tip through it. Oh, this is cute. Look how cute. Look how cute that is. So see this part, these little ends, I'll trim those off in a minute, but I want to make sure that it's good and dry. So I'm going to go on to my next flag. And I'm going to do the same thing. So again, this could be paper strips. It could be ribbon. It could be lace. I'm using a crocheted lace. It could be washi tape. I'm just going to trim it as I go. And now I kind of know I'll just show you what my glue looks like so you can see it. I kind of squeeze some out, but do you see how I just kind of drag my tip through it to kind of thin it out? That's me just dragging the tip through it. Would you like to see more paper crafts on my page? Let me know if you'd like to see me do more paper crafts during crafting chats or workshops, projects. But this is such a great paper craft because this is something that would just be so cute, done in so many different ways, used in so many different ways. You can always use a cute pocket. Great for a scrapbook layout. I mean, it's just such a cute thing. And it could, like I said, I think it'd be really cute as a treat holder, could be a gift card holder. And then for sure, a journaling pocket, for sure. Yeah. Okay, let's look at this one. I'm not going to trim them just yet. Cute, cute, cute. You know, they're not all exactly straight, but good enough. I don't think anybody out there is going to be looking at them and judging them. All right, one more here. Tacky glue is so good for things like this, because like if I was using hot glue for this, it would, it's got a lot of, it's lace. It's got a lot of holes in it. I would have probably get me some good hot glue burns. And then you'll see it. You'll see some of the globs of the hot glue. This way, even if you do get a glob of the tacky glue, you don't have to worry about it because it's going to dry clear. It's going to dry nice and clear. No, I'm not gonna wrap it around the edges. I'm just going to cut it off. I'm just going to cut it close to the edge of the pocket. I guess you could wrap it around. It's up to you. All right, one more. For this width of ribbon, I think 4 was just perfect. I don't really need more than that. Okay, so again, I'll come back in and I'll trim these off. Isn't that cute? Just adds that fun texture. I love for projects to have a little bit of texture on them. It adds interest, cuteness, just all of the things. Yes, it could be cute for lots of things, even on a canvas. You're exactly right, Yvonne. You could put little flowers into it. Yeah, it's functional. The pockets are functional. There's so many ways that we could use them. So I think this is the one that I did first. So I'm going to go ahead now. These should be plenty dry enough now. And I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to trim it from the back. That's usually easier. You can just see. There we go. So now it's nice and trim. And now I'm going to add a little bit of ribbon. Okay, so I could add some small ribbon for this. I have a couple smalls here. The blue one's kind of a chevron stripe, and this one is just a regular stripe. I also could use red and white baker's twine. So what do I want to add? I think I'll add baker's twine on this one. And I just thought a cute little heart, a cute little bow, just a normal bow, right? Just a normal bow, something small, nothing overpowering, would be cute on the heart. So I'm just making a cute little bow, and I'm going to tie knots in the tails, and then I'll trim it just a little bit below the knot so that I can unravel it and I get that little tassel look on the end. Do you guys like how these are turning out? Aren't they cute? And this is not hard. And this is something you could do with your paper scraps. Anything red, white, and blue. It doesn't have to be patriotic paper. Anything red, white, and blue. Oh yeah, that's cute. I like the baker's twine with this check, this kind of gingham check. So again, I'm going to put down my good old tacky glue. It's so cute. Just keeps getting cuter and cuter. And then what could you do in the center of the bow, right? Well, that's where I pulled these little white buttons. I could put a little white button on here. Maybe you might want to put a little star if you have a little star embellishment of some kind. I'm just going to do a button for right now. I usually like to do buttons with my glue gun. Let's see if I can get any glue to come out. Nope, it's just not going to happen. So I'll just use my tacky glue. You could use a red, white, or a blue button, any of the above. All right, I may have to let this sit here for just a second before I can lift it up to show you. Go a little heavier with my glue. Okay. All right, I'm going to kind of show this to you, and hopefully this button is going to stay on while it's setting up. Isn't that cute? It's just a little button. All right, let's go to the next one. I'll do ribbon on this one, I think. So again, I'm going to turn it over to the back. Trim off any excess of your lace. Let's do this navy on this one. So I think any kind of ribbon, twine, you know, anything like that would be cute. That's so cute. I need to make the tails a little bit smaller. Let me just kind of hold this one up so you can see. It's not quite dry yet. Put a little bit more down. You have to put down a little bit more when you're doing ribbons or twines because it tries to absorb into the fabric, or the, you know, the ribbon itself or the twine itself. Aren't those cute? Okay, let's do the red and white stripes on this one. So I think it's just up to you, whatever you want to use. And now you know how to make these adorable little cute functional flag pockets. So tell me how you think you're going to use them. I think they're adorable. How are you going to use yours? I hope you'll make them because they really are so easy. I mean, look, I've made 3 right here in the short amount of time that we have been together. So cute. Ah, how cute. They're just so cute. And then, like I said, you can top them off with, oh, I forgot to trim this one. You can top them off with, you know, a cute button. If you want to, if you have a cute like star brad, you can cut the prongs off the back of the brad and glue that in the center of your bow. You may have some cute wooden buttons or other kind of things. So the only thing we haven't done yet, right, is add sparkle. That's the only thing we haven't done. And so now we've got this cute, cute little pocket. I was just trying to look for something we could put in our pocket. Something that's small enough. Just want to show you how, yeah, it's going to be so adorable. Like you can actually put, again, if you're going to use it in your journaling Bible or an art journal, you could put a message in here, mementos, a photo, a prayer, a verse, right? If you're using them on a scrapbook page, definitely be a great pocket for journaling or mementos. And then also a photo pocket, right? Could be used as a photo pocket. If it's going to be a treat pocket, think about a candy bar, right? A candy bar in here. Think about a gift card. Think about the little, what is it? The little Ghirardelli chocolates, suckers. If you have littler kids, I mean, it's a pretty good size pocket. Let me kind of pop it. I'm going to kind of squeeze it. So you can see it's a pretty good size pocket. Even a cookie, if you have a cookie in like cellophane, you know, that's wrapped, even a cookie in there. So something really, really cute. Something like this could be even cute to pass out at like, for those of you that are looking for a community service project, there are so many people that have served for us in the armed forces in all the different branches of armed forces that are at nursing centers, nursing homes. Maybe you stick in, you know, a cookie and some chapstick or something, you know, something that's just or a little card that just says thank you for your service, right? I think there's lots of ways that we could use these really cute card flag pockets.